All right. So, I just finished watching series three of BBC's Sherlock, and my God, this was good. Oh my! I am I am amazed at how this series has managed to stay consistently good throughout its entire run. And I think part of that has to do with the time they spend on each series because this there's like a 2 year interval between each season because I think the first season came out in 2010, second season came out in 2012, and now the third series, I shouldn't say season, they call it series, um, come, has now come out in January of 2014. so so there is so I do have to assume that part of the reason why these episodes are so good is because the creators have so much time to fine tune them. So I figured I would review series three episode by episode, considering there are only 3 episodes per series. So so the first episode is called "The Empty Hearse," and it basically part of it picks up where series two left off. By the way, this is going to contain spoilers, um, so just to give you fair warning. But it picks up basically 2 years after Sherlock Holmes' supposed death, um, at, in order to stop Moriarty at the end of series two, and and basically it details how he faked his death, and it basically chronicles his return to London and his reconnecting with a bunch of people who are close to him. Now, a fair amount of people knew that he wasn't dead, like Mycroft, and I think they say his parents and his network of homeless people under his employ. But John Watson did not know. Mrs. Hudson did not know. Um, Lestrade did not know. So so it's mainly these 3 people and how he is struggling to reconnect with them. While at the same time, John Watson very logically has moved on with his life. I mean, he's obviously still broken up. I mean, he's never really fully gotten over it. Um, but but basically, he has moved on with his life. He is now getting ready to propose to a woman named Mary Morstan, played by Martin Freeman's uh, real life partner, Amanda Abington. So they do have that little added bit of chemistry. Um, but at the same time this is going on, they they have to they have to stop a an apparent terrorist threat that that is going to befall London, and basically that's the primary reason why Holmes has been called back to London after 2 years, because in those 2 years he's basically been going on these covert missions where he's been shutting down or trying to shut down Moriarty's network, with the help of his brother. And yeah, this was a pretty strong return for Sherlock Holmes. Um, Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman still have just amazing chemistry. They still they still give very very good performances. And Martin Freeman has actually gone on record as saying that he does not want to make Dr. Watson a comedic character. He doesn't want to make him like a "by Jove, Holmes, you're right." No, he wants to. He's basically playing him very straight, he does get in the occasional good line, and you don't think that Watson is a stick in the mud, but he is basically the audience proxy, while at the same time not coming off as stupid, and that can be tricky to do. I mean, you never really. I should give credit where credit is due. Jude Law accomplished this also, um, but he's basically the guy that Holmes has to explain things to. That has been the way it has been basically since the beginning. Watson has been the audience proxy, the guy who asks the obvious questions like Holmes, how do you know that? What is going on? I don't understand. And Holmes would then subsequently explain his method and explain who the villain is, and so on and so forth. And again, that type of character can be tricky to do if not played by an actor with a lot of charisma. I mean, this is a character who can easily come off as just a real idiot, just a real clueless dolt. But Martin Freeman and also Jude Law and a few other Watsons in the past have managed to inhabit that audience proxy role, the everyman, while at the same time still remaining an interesting and charismatic character. I mean, basically, what I really like about how they portray Watson in here is that he's a war vet from Afghanistan, and he's not really having post-traumatic stress disorder. He's not really having post-traumatic stress so much as he misses the action, and he sees working with Holmes as basically a method to get back into the action. So yeah, it was a very, I think they were really treading on interesting ground when they approached the scene where Holmes finally revealed himself as being alive to Watson. At the moment where Watson was about to propose to his girlfriend. Little awkward, but they handle it pretty well. I mean, they this is what always impresses me about this show, is that they seem to find a really good balance between drama and comedy. I mean, they don't. Basically, what they do is that they have a solid, I think, 2 minutes of Watson just trying to digest that Holmes is alive, while at the same time there's this anger boiling up inside him that like Holmes has been gone for 2 years, he's been alive for 2 years, and he has not told me. So Martin Freeman really plays that beautifully, and then subsequently it's not jarring. I don't want to make it out like it's jarring, but it shifts to comedy, where Watson basically beats the crap out of Holmes 3 times in a row. I mean, they keep getting kicked out of the places that they're currently in because Watson is just killing Holmes. So yeah, I really like the way they handled Sherlock's return, and like I said, with Martin Freeman being the everyman character, and I don't mean to. This is nothing against Martin Freeman as an actor. He just happens to play the everyman really well. But I've heard him in interviews, and it seems like he really wants to break that. It seems like he doesn't want to be typecast, and it's not like the everyman role is the only role I've seen him in. Like I really liked him in Wild Target, where he played the really happy hitman at the end with the fake teeth. So I liked him in there, but I digress. Basically, most of this episode basically revolves around Sherlock steadily trying to reconnect with Watson. I mean, he reconnects with Mrs. Hudson and Lestrade pretty easily, but Watson, he's he will not be so easy to convince. And what they and what also poses a challenge is that at the same time they're choosing to introduce Watson's wife, or soon to be wife. Um, and that could easily come off as a mess, especially considering that they are also juggling a plot where Holmes is trying to uncover a terrorist plan, and it all has to come down to and it all comes down to I don't know how many American audiences would get this, but I've seen Viva Vendetta, so I would get this. um, and I also know about Guy Fawkes Night. Basically, it revolves around remember the 5th of November. So, so yeah, that's basically what this episode revolves around. And what I really like is that they do take time. It is believable that Watson would not be so quick to re-embrace Holmes as a friend, because he's basically been living under a lie, a very painful lie, for the past 2 years. So it's completely understandable why he would be angry. And like I said, Martin Freeman plays that very well, and Cumberbatch plays his part very well. I mean, this show is carried beautifully by Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch, who I think have really gone down as being among the, I don't know if they are the best, but they are probably among the best actors who have played Holmes and Watson. So yeah, they are both very good. I liked Amanda Abington's character. She seemed to fit right in, and and it's not like the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes, where Watson's wife has always been kind of a distraction for the two of them. How basically the movie, whenever she popped on screen, it seemed like the writers were trying to figure out a way to write her off of the screen, so that they could get back to the main story. Here, they actually do make her a pretty likable character, a pretty charismatic character, and there may have been a risk. I'm not sure, but there may have been a risk in just public opinion about casting when they decided to go with Martin Freeman's real life partner, Amanda Abington, for the role of Mary Watson. I mean, people might have just assumed, oh, you're only casting her because she's in bed with Martin Freeman. No, but even if that was the case, I don't think that was the case. Even if it was the case, though, thank God that she is a good enough actress to where I didn't really mind. I wasn't really distracted. I mean, I wasn't really going, she's only here because she's close to Martin Freeman. No, I did genuinely believe that they cast her because they really felt that she would be that she could bring a lot to the character. And she does. So I liked Amanda Abington, and the supporting players like Una Stubbs as Mrs. Hudson, and Rupert Graves as Lestrade. They don't get a ton to do this season, but you don't forget about them. You don't. I mean, they are by no means unimportant characters. You don't go, whenever they do pop up, they're like, okay, enough of them. I want to get back to Holmes and Watson. No, you do like. That's another thing that impresses me about this show, is that you do really like the supporting characters, and it's not like, and never do the main two characters overshadow the supporting characters, or vice versa. Another character in this show that I really like is Molly, the pathologist who basically from episode 1 has had a crush on Holmes. I mean, she really likes Sherlock, but but up until recently he's been kind of oblivious to it. But in this episode he does take her along, as a kind of temporary replacement for Watson, because Watson's still pissed at him. He takes her along to interview a bunch of people to basically figure out, I think, which case to take. I'm trying to remember. But also as kind of a thank you for some of her help in the past, and also during the 2 years that he has been gone, because in his words he was basically the one she was basically the one person that Moriarty thought that he did not care about. So that was a very good moment, and what even adds kind of a bittersweet yet brilliant touch to it is that you find out in the same scene, as a matter of fact, is that Molly has also kind of moved on with her life and is newly engaged. So yeah, that's another moment they played beautifully. I mean, what I really regret more than anything in regards to the show is that I did not come across it sooner. I mean, I did not watch it when it first came on back in 2010. I didn't. I caught it just in the year of series 2, and to basically, I was just kind of like, this looks interesting. I'll try this out, and to go from that to being honestly one of my favorite TV shows is really, really impressive. This show consistently impresses me. It consistently surprises me. It constantly throws me for a loop, and it honestly is one of, in my opinion, the better versions of the Conan Doyle character to come out. But yeah, this episode 1 was a very strong start. It took the time necessary to basically redevelop the relationships between the characters. It took appropriate time to reintroduce the character and the formula of Sherlock Holmes, and also what I actually found kind of funny is that there was a lot of fan speculation as to how he survived the Reichenbach fall. And what this episode did is that it never flat out told you definitely how he did it. I mean, it offers three different explanations, each of them very, very ridiculous and very. Oh my God. There's one where the Holmes that jumps off the building is a dummy. And the real Holmes is just sitting on the roof with Moriarty, and as soon as John thinks that Holmes is dead, Holmes and Moriarty just kind of lean in for a kiss. Oh wow! But yeah, this show never really flat out tells you what the true story was. I mean, Holmes starts to explain it to Watson when he first reunites with him, but Watson cuts him off as being like, I don't care how, I want to know why, which is a very logical question. But I would think after that I would want to know how, because it looked pretty legit. Well, and at the same time, the explanations that they give, while they can get very, very ridiculous, are very possible. And and here's my theory. This is just me speculating. But what I think happened is that the third story, where Holmes basically jumped onto the soft surface, onto this inflatable don't even know what it looked like. It looked like a fun house. This inflatable mat, um, and he basically had to make sure that John did not see the inflatable mat by standing right where he was, because there was a building between him and there was a smaller building between him and the building where Holmes was about to jump off. So the inflatable mat he could not see. And Holmes tells this to a person that he does not like, and then who has basically been compiling compiling all these different theories as to how Holmes survived. So, but then once Holmes finishes his story, then the guy basically says, "Wait a minute, I'm the last person you would tell the truth to." So that's kind of meant to insinuate that that the story that Holmes told this guy was just another made up account. But here's what I think. I think it was the truth. Because really, at the end of Series 2, Moriarty fooled Holmes by basically making his master plan out to be far more clever and complicated than it really was. I mean, he basically hid the truth right under Sherlock Holmes's nose, and Holmes did not account for that because in Moriarty's words, "You want everything to be clever." So Holmes hiding the truth in front of this guy, I actually think would make a lot of sense, because it would tell that it would let you know that he has learned something from his encounters with Moriarty, and B, you really it seems logical. It seems honestly the most logical of the three. I mean, logically, you would think that he would be able to pull something like that off with Mycroft's help and the help of his homeless network. But I'm just going off on another tangent at this point. All in all, The Empty Hearse was a very, very strong start to Series 3 of Sherlock, and it definitely had me pumped for Episode 2, which I will talk about next.